Hi, Erin. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Thanks for your patience. I know I'm a little bit late.
You're good.
Did you
I
get a
have the house
chance
to
to
myself
sing a
today.
little
So,
bit?
yes, I did. I've been warming up.
Excellent. How's
I'm
that
coughing a
going?
little bit now because I feel like every single time I'm gonna sing with you, I get a tickle in my throat.
Oh
Like
my
my body's just like,
goodness.
yeah, you should probably have to start coughing right about now.
Oh, I wonder if it's like a nervous thing. I know my husband has kind of like a chronic nervous cough that kicks in
Could
whenever he
be
gets,
totally,
yeah.
totally. But yeah, there's no one else here today, so that's good. Like,
Mm.
everyone went. My father-in-law is in town because his dad is not doing well in Michigan. So they came down for the day and they brought cousins and Heather's brother and girlfriends.
Oh.
So they all went to Pinheads. So I am here
Oh,
ready to sing.
fun. So you can really sing out today because
I'm
it's
gonna
like
try.
you've got the whole house.
Yeah,
So
I'm
you
gonna
can be as
try.
loud as you want.
I will say that my voice is still like, I don't know what's going on with this. My face, dude, it was crazy. I was like, it looked like I had like 20 mosquito bites, like
Oh
giant
my
bites on my face.
goodness.
I was like, I still don't know what it was that caused it. Like,
Wow.
but it made like, so it swelled up like my lymph nodes and stuff.
Yeah.
So I think I'm like pretty good today, but
Right.
I also like haven't really pushed it. So
Yeah.
we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Like it could have been an allergic reaction or something
It
that.
definitely was. I just don't know what to.
Yeah, my goodness. Oh man, so your body
Yeah,
has to, process all of that, clean it out, and it really wipes out your immune system. So then you
yeah,
can like end up catching something else because your immune system
exactly,
is so busy fighting something that's not going to actually hurt it.
exactly. So yeah,
Oh,
so I think hopefully we'll be okay. I was just singing pretty
yeah.
okay. There's a couple parts. So do you know who East Six is? Probably you do. If
Yeah,
you're
I've
close
I've
to
heard
me
some of
anyway.
their songs. Yeah.
Like, I would swallow my pride, I would choke on the rinds, but the lack thereof. So that's one of the ones I was singing.
Yeah.
Um, there's actually a couple of them that I've been singing because I needed to sing something different for a while.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah.
I just
Yeah,
was
just
like singing
like
those three songs so much that it was starting to get to the
yeah.
point where like it would. I just needed a break so I could come back to it. I feel like.
Right, exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. To kind of stretch your voice a different way, but
Yeah.
also just like mentally, that it just gets tedious. And we don't want
Yeah.
to end up making it where like, ugh, it's a slog. We want it to still be
Yeah.
fun and but
Exactly.
also keeping you challenged in different ways as well. Um, a fun little fact when I would have been like, listening to songs that we're working on or whatnot before our sessions, my husband was like, he and I have the exact same taste in music.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Well, we'll see if he likes E6 too. How old is your
Oh,
husband?
let's see. He was born in what, 90, 95 or 96?
Oh, so he's my brother's age. Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm 87, so which is
Oh, okay,
crazy.
yeah. Yeah,
But
my
yeah,
my
so
sister, I'm a little bit older than he is. My older sister was born in 86. I'm 88. And
yeah,
then
so
my little brother and
okay.
sister are 93 and 94. So I'm a little bit
Yeah.
older than he is. But my dad's a lot older than my mom. His mom was actually quite a bit older than his dad. So like we're
Really?
like, we're
Well,
grown-ups,
yeah. I
it's
mean, it
fine,
doesn't
you
matter to
know?
me. Yeah, it's the how the soul matches to me.
Yeah. I'm 37 and he's 30, so it's like it's not
Yeah, Heather's
at that point, it's like it's not
6 years
really
younger than
that
me.
big of a change.
No, I mean you're both millennials, right? Like you both grew up in mostly the same stuff.
Yeah.
What did he not have? He probably didn't have like LimeWire.
Oh.
That's probably the part he's
Yeah.
missing, right? Where we had to actually burn CDs.
Yeah, I think he's like technically like the very beginning of Gen Z, so he kind of like
Oh, really?
understands both. He's that
Yeah.
like bridge moment. My
Well,
younger
that's
brother
probably
and
helpful.
sister like a little bit later millennials too, so they
Yeah.
get some of the Gen
That's how
Z
my
stuff
brother is
whereas I'm just
too.
like whoop over my
Yeah.
head. I'm
Yeah.
like I am solidly a millennial. I'm okay
The
with
only
that.
reason I get any of it is because my brother's 96. And
Yeah.
so he's still like, he modeled after my sister and I, right? So he like
Yeah.
experienced the sort of the millennial upbringing because that's
Right. Yeah.
we're like overpowering his upbringing. But so his
Yes. Yeah.
friends don't have that as much, and I'm like,
Ah, yeah.
oh, this is what they're talking about when they say these
Okay. Yeah.
things.
Yeah, I think my husband's 96 and then he has a younger sibling, so that probably also Nevin is definitely a Gen Z, so
Yeah.
yeah, so it's and
This is
they're
what.
pretty close too, so but yeah,
All right.
it's fun.
Just get this cleared. Okay.
Yeah,
Um.
so so you've been singing today. We've got a little bit of allergy, congestion
Whatever's going
lingering.
on.
That's something I kind of battle constantly. I have chronic allergies, so it's just a
Yeah.
daily thing that I always take allergy medication, and it's
I
something
just went and took
I
it because
just
I was
fight
like, I
with
should
my
do that.
allergies too. Like earlier, like in the week, I had this huge rash like all over my neck pop up, and I was like, "What are you from?"
Don't you love that? Like, it's so random.
Yeah, so I have no idea like what it was that kicked it off, but I was like, wonderful.
Yeah. I have this
So
one that
yeah,
always.
I get that. So some things I would say drink as much water as you can just to help your body flush out and thin out any mucus and congestion that's in there. You can try the Mucinex, that's the expectorant with the cough suppressant, because the expectorant's going to thin and the cough suppressant's going to help just protect your vocal folds, because coughing is just kind of strenuous on the voice. It's just very fatiguing. So, if you're trying to
I
sing
think I
as
have
well.
that actually.
Okay, yeah.
Let me go.
Yeah, so I recommend that instead of like
Does it use next
Sudafed.
cough?
Yeah, it'll help like minimize your cough as well. You're back.
Have it.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
so
take some right
the
now.
reason I don't recommend Sudafed is because it can actually kind of thin, it sort of like makes your vocal folds a little more fragile. So if you're
Hmm.
singing while on it, it makes them more prone to having vocal injuries. So
What
like
about Afrin?
Sudafed.
What about
Um,
Afrin?
um, I don't know. I'd have to look at what kind of medication it is. I know like ibuprofen and Sudafed,
Right.
both they just kind of like thin the vocal folds and they make them a little more fragile and a little more prone to vocal injury. So you're more likely to like develop like little bumps or like just irritated areas on them. It's kind of like getting the equivalent of like a sprained ankle, but for your voice
Yeah.
kind of a thing. Um,
Gotcha.
and so you're just more likely to get those kind of things. And then it takes even longer to recover, which we don't want. But Mucinex is great. Honey is sort of like a natural body disinfectant. It'll help kind of clear out the congestion, but it also puts this really soothing coating down your throat as well. So that's a great thing to add to your diet at the moment. So like just melt some honey in warm water and like sip that, or get like those Manuka honey lozenges that are just like crystallized honey and just suck on those, and that can be really soothing, but also help clear things out, which is great. I
Okay.
would avoid menthol because it's really drying. So stick with more like herbal things like lemon, honey, echinacea, licorice root. So things like throat coat tea or, um, oh, cold eases do more like zinc. They don't have menthol. The Ricola ones, they have some with menthol, but some without. So you can get like honey and lemon
I love those Ricola. Those are my
without
favorite.
the menthol. Yeah, just
Yeah, those are
menthol
the
is
ones I
very
have.
drying, and so that's going to make it harder to sing.
Okay.
So we want things that are going to help like clear out the congestion, but that aren't actually drying to the vocal folds. Right. So
Yeah, that
it's
makes sense.
yeah, it's like a little bit tricky finding those things, but they're there and you can find them. I personally don't love the cold eases. If you start taking them really early, like right at the beginning of a cold, for instance, they're proven to like shorten your cold by like 2 days or something, but you have to take them right at the beginning. But they kind of leave like a weird coating to me, like
Are
at
those
the
the powder, like
aftertaste.
the
Yeah, it
tab?
feels kind of powdery at the end,
Yeah. Okay.
which I don't love. But
Um,
if you do have that tickle and that impetus, to like, you feel like you're gonna cough, and you just need a lozenge to suck on, like those and Ricola are better, and they're like in every pharmacy.
I think I have
So
3 bags of those Ricola here because
yeah, great,
I
awesome.
used to smoke hookah a lot a long time ago. Not that long ago, like a year and a half ago, 2 years ago. I quit when Heather got pregnant, and
You feel like the caterpillar
I
in
put a
Alice in Wonderland.
yeah. Actually, everyone says that. Yeah. I would put Ricola in my mouth,
Oh yeah.
smoke it, and it would keep it from like irritating my throat.
Oh, yeah. That actually, I think
And it
that's
actually
actually
tastes
really
fire.
smart.
Yeah, it tastes really
That's
good too.
amazing.
So
That's very cool. Yeah, I never considered that. But yeah, it like kind of helped
strongly
create like a
recommend.
protective
Yeah. It
barrier
also
and
like
help.
that little like layer of the Ricola like makes
Yeah.
it almost tingles your throat in like a good way. It's the whole thing is
Mhm.
just it's just better.
Yeah, well, and then like the flavor would be there a little bit
Yeah,
too. Yeah,
yeah.
I
So
have
good.
tried smoking hookah. I think if I did smoke, I'm like, I feel like hookah would be the thing I would enjoy most. Like, I don't know,
It's
with like
so
the
like
steam
meditating.
element too, and like,
Yeah.
yeah,
It
I
really
feel
like
like if I
I'm
if I was a smoker, I tried it when I was like
yeah,
22 with friends, like theater friends on an off day.
yeah.
We were working summer stock theater together and it was like an off day and my friend Evan loved his hookah and he was like, "You want to try it?" And it was just like minty tobacco with the
Oh,
like
too minty
bubbling
is
water and all the steam and
yeah.
we like blew bubbles out of it, which was kind of fun. I don't know.
Yeah, with the tube with the
Yeah, yep.
yeah, I've done that.
Yep. So I tried it, but then I was like, oh, I have to sing a lot in the show, and that made it harder.
I got
So
addicted to it pretty much.
I was
So
like,
I had
you
to like
enjoy, and
stop.
I'll just enjoy your presence while you're enjoying your hookah.
I probably smoked it for almost 20 years, like 15 years at least. Just pretty crazy. There
Yeah.
were like years that I would stop for like periods of time
Oh, yeah.
and I'd come back. But now I'm like, I can't have it around at all. And
Oh,
so
yeah. You know, I feel like everybody has their things that like help them to relax and unwind. And I'm like, smoking hookah is really not the worst thing you can do. But
really,
as a singer, I would
it's
say
not great.
there are better things that you can do as
Yeah.
a singer.
As a soccer player too, let me tell you.
Oh, yeah, right, for
Yeah.
breathing. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
So
Yeah.
I
So,
would usually come home after games and smoke because that was like the longest period of time that I'd have before another game.
yeah, that makes sense. So you were like, okay, if I'm gonna do it, now is the
Yeah.
time.
Yeah.
That actually makes sense. Yeah. Yeah. I've known like even, man, I knew a lyric coloratura who smoked cigarettes like a chimney. And I was just constantly in awe because I was like, there's no way. Like, I could not sing and do what she did. So yeah, I was like, wow, okay. But yeah, she was like, yeah, my voice teacher is always like, you'll be so much better if you stop. And she was like, but I don't want to.
Happy where I'm at. Yeah, happy where I'm
Yeah.
at. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
That's
like, I
someone
don't
who's
think
truly
I could
content with
do
life
it,
at
but
least. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I do things like craft projects or when I get like very angry, I go into a cleaning frenzy. I'm like, I feel
Yeah.
like there are, definitely worse things I could do
Yeah.
when I'm
Yeah.
mad than be like, I'm gonna clean everything.
I do that too, actually. Not the same because mine is actually usually because I'm mad because I need to clean. But
Ah,
but
yeah.
then but that's what motivates me, and then I use that anger and like fury clean
Well,
the
it
house.
just makes me feel better because I'm like, well, I'm still mad, but at least everything is clean.
Doesn't work. That part doesn't work for me. It's literally the burning of the and like just defeating the task. Like
Got
okay,
it. You're like, I conquered it. I love
yeah,
it.
just yeah.
Yeah,
All
I
right, should we
freaked
sing?
out my husband when we were dating because, like, one time I got really mad. And it wasn't even about him, but I was just like really mad about something else. And he was trying to talk to me and be like, what's wrong? Da, da, da. And I just was like, don't talk to me. And I just like started cleaning everything. And I don't think I even lived like, where I just started doing like all the dishes and cleaning the counters and like cleaning the floors. And he was like, what is happening? I was like, leave me alone. And he was
This
just like,
is my process.
okay. And
That's
then he was
awesome.
like, can we talk about what happened? I don't understand. And I was like, here's the thing. When I get really pissed off, I clean and I exercise. I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm mad. I might as
those are
well like
great.
use that energy for something good. And by
Yeah,
the
those are
end,
great
I'm
outlet.
like exhausted and I'm like, I have spent the angry energy and at least now I feel like I accomplished something.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, I get it.
Alrighty. So you said you've been singing a little bit.
Yeah, because this guy's voice is
Ironically, a
totally
lot of the
different.
time as we sing through, it kind of the vibrations will help to kind of drain stuff. So in that process, you might actually feel more like you're going to cough. So if you've been warming up and you've had these vibrations, this stuff might start moving. And so you might feel the drainage and then feel like you're going to cough, but it actually ends up being a positive thing because it helps clear it all out. And then it's like, oh, so now I can like
Now I can
actually
see.
sing. Um, and I feel like it helps quite a bit to like open everything up.
Yeah, I
So,
actually was coughing while I was warming up, but I walked out and walked back, and I started coughing when I stopped singing. So I feel like as soon as we start singing again, it's gonna clear out again. So
great. Excellent. Yeah. Yeah, I do feel like sometimes it helps. I'm curious, can we do just a little hum real quick? Give me a
yeah,
Yeah, do you feel like that air can get through?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Oh, okay, great. So that's wonderful. So, what's great is that it's not just like sitting in here, which I would say is
you're like
the one of the hardest things about singing when you're dealing with that, because we can't do any of those nasal consonants, the M's, the N's, the ings. But if it's draining, the thing
mm,
that happens is if as it's draining it just kind of sits on top of the vocal folds because they're, remember, the gatekeepers, so sometimes that congestion will just sit right on top of them. um, that can be very irritating to them. So if you have congestion that just sits like a frog in your throat right on top of them and doesn't get cleared off, that's where we get more like swelling and irritation in the vocal folds. You'll get like little bumps and irritated spots. But what's cool is with singing, we will be kind of like, that's probably why you want to cough, is to clear it off. Because it's
yeah,
like
a
you
hundred
want to
percent.
push it off. You're
Yeah,
like, get off. So something that a laryngologist taught me that works as effectively as a cough, it's less satisfying, I acknowledge. But what you do is you just sharply exhale twice. So you go, and then you're going to swallow. And that will help clear off any junk that's sitting on top of your vocal folds. So I totally get like it's much more satisfying to cough. But if you feel like, oh, there's something in the way, doing that and then swallow, that can help clear
feel
that
it. I
off.
do feel
And
it.
then when you try to sing again, ah, ah, it should feel a lot more comfortable. Actually, when I
Ah,
just did it now, I was like, oh, I felt a little bit of stuff get kicked off of it, which is nice. Another thing you can try that's just like really soothing if you've been coughing and your voice is kind of tired, get a little bit of water in your mouth and then you're going to gargle and sing at the same time. Now, that's not actually going to touch your vocal folds, but if your throat is tired, um, and feeling uncomfortable from the drainage and the coughing,
I
that can
could in
just
general.
help sort of
Yeah.
freshen everything. And then you're like, ah. So, like, say you've been practicing for 3 hours and you're like, my voice is tired, and you do that, it actually usually will give you a little like extra time that you
Nice.
can
That's
keep
actually a
going.
good one to know. Yeah,
Yeah. So those are just two
that'd
things
be
you can
happening.
do that are kind of like soothing and helpful for this kind of phase. Yeah, but I am sorry that you're dealing with it. I know you had like mold issues and then now you've got this allergic reaction. It's
It's
like,
been nonstop. Yeah, pretty annoying.
aw. Well, let's go ahead and dive in. Since you have been singing a little bit, do you want to just show me the song first and go from there?
Yeah. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah,
Sorry.
so I would love to have you just go ahead and show me what you've done with it, and then we can go from there. And if we need to do like exercises within, we'll go ahead and add those in.
Okay, so I'm just gonna say up front, this guy's voice is way different because it's like rock, right?
Yes.
So I'm like finding the tone is that's probably gonna be part of today because
Okay. Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
like it sounds full and deep, but whenever I'm doing with my earplugs, I'm not going deep. So then I'm like, well,
Right.
maybe it's not deep, and it's just the warmth or
Yeah.
something in his voice. So
Yeah, so let me hear what you're doing with it. The
okay,
first step is always just learning the patterns, the rhythms, the melody, which
okay.
I'm sure you're getting with your practice. And then it just sounds like it's. So I like to think of singing as like a cake. We get the bulk of the cake, right? The main cake part down, and then the different styles are just like the icing, the sprinkles, the decorations that we add. So that core of singing, you're probably already getting that stuff down with the song. And so now we just need to add some of those stylistic elements, which is, a little funky because it's like, oh, I haven't done this technique before. But that's okay. We'll play with it and we'll figure it out. I will say that some of the rock techniques are a little more fatiguing, but I also think that since you've been coughing, you might have a little bit of a natural like grittiness or rasp or something that we
I
can
think so too.
actually incorporate and use. So yeah, just let me hear where it's at and we'll go from
Okay, I'm
there.
actually gonna do a different one because
Okay,
I sang
sure.
you that one and then I sang this one. I was like, oh, I might want to work on this one.
Yeah,
So it's the
absolutely.
same
Oh,
band.
no problem at all. Yeah, you were practicing. You were like, I think I want to do this one. Yeah, absolutely.
It does start like immediately. So
Okay, yeah, one of those tracks that's like, boom, you're there.
tonight I feel ambitious, and so does my foot as it sinks on the pedal. I press it to the floor. I don't need a girl, don't need a friend, 'cause my friend lonesome's unconditional. We're flying foreverboard. And for a moment, I love everything I see and think and feel. I love my broken side view mirror. 'Cause it's so perfect, I'm so perfect, you're so perfect, you're not here. I hear the changing gears, my pile shakes as I hit 80 on the open road. This is an open road song. The night is beckoning, although I have nowhere to go but home. Feels good to be alone. With every turn comes a new frame of mind. If I could frame my mind, where would it hang? My pile shakes as I hit 80 on the open road. My pile shakes as I hit 80 on the open road. My pile shakes as I hit 80 on the open road. This is an open road. Oh, sorry. That's a different one. I like this verse a lot. I'm coming. There's also a lot more just noise with it.
Right, because it's rock, so
I
they want
crack
to
a
celebrate
window and
those
feel the
guitars.
cool air cleanse my every pore as I pour my poor heart out to a radio song that's patient and willing to listen. My volume drowns it out. Yeah, but that's okay, 'cause I sound better than him anyway, any day. Yeah, my voice is sweetest all. I search for comfort and I find it where I've found it many times before. Times before to be forgotten. Yeah. This part I'm not pushing hard at the moment.
Yeah.
My pile shakes as I hit 80 on the open road. My pile shakes as I hit 80 on the open road. My pile shakes as I hit 80 on the open road. This is an open road song. I don't really do the ending very often either, but
Okay, so yeah, so tell me what you felt strong about, what you liked from that take.
I like I like hmm, I like the tone. I don't think it's quite right. I feel like I've gotten closer on it. So I like where it's at, but I feel like
Okay.
there's improvement to be made. Um, I definitely feel a little bit out of breath on the
Ah, yeah.
my pile shakes part.
Okay.
Normally that's not a problem.
Right.
Uh, but I was feeling a little out of it today. Um,
Sure.
but also the way he sings during that part, right, where he kind of it's almost like yelling but not yelling.
Yeah.
I don't know how to do that.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So I feel a little tough about that part. But otherwise, I feel like I like a lot of I feel like I'm rounding my mouth when a lot of the time, at least when I want to get that sort of. I don't know what to call the tone. How would you describe it? Is it warmth?
Yeah,
Is it?
yeah. So I would definitely say, this has a lot of those rock stylistic elements with the voice. So if you described the voice of the original singer, what would you say? Like, how would you describe their voice to somebody?
I would say it's like a little gruff and raspy, but not.
Yeah.
But it never actually like moves into that zone. It's like flirting on the edge of it.
Yeah.
Uh, and then, but also somehow also very full,
Ah, yes.
um, and sort of nasally, not super nasally, but somewhat nasally. I
Okay.
think that's pretty close how I would describe it.
Yeah, so just like a little touch of nasality. Yeah. So I put in the
Yeah.
chat, I typed out some of the descriptors that you said. A little gruff and raspy, also very full, somewhat nasally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So there is a fully supported sound, right? So it's like, okay, like he's got some power to it. He's got that vocal support with the breath. He has just a touch of nasality, like you were saying, just a little bit of that. So just like a teensy bit of that kind of like twangy feeling, but just a dash, like a little sprinkling. Um, and then throughout, I would say there is this little bit of like a gruffness or raspiness. It's not like entirely like that's not the main feature.
Not his
It's just
voice.
like
Yeah.
yeah, it's like we just like painted on top a little bit or like, sprinkled some glitter on top kind of a
Yeah.
feeling. Um, where there's a little bit of a gruffness or a raspiness. So if we think about how to create these sounds, so the fullness, that richness and fullness and power he has, that's going to be anchored to your breath. So we want to be sure that we're connecting as well to that as we can. So I would say, so I have allergy induced asthma, and I do have times where I'm like, I cannot do these longer phrases as well as usual.
Hmm.
I also have times though where like because of the swelling, it's hard to get like those little sips of breath really fast. The coordination is kind of
Yeah.
fast. So I have to always kind of play with, if my voice feels a little bit off, how to manage my breaths. So I'm like, okay, do I need to take in air a little bit more slowly and do longer phrases? Do I need to do like small sips of breath more often? And just sort of experiment with that. So, one thing I want to try first off is let's just try focusing on that breath and kind of feel where everything is at. If you've got like fluid in your lungs, kind of a thing, or there's a lot of swelling happening, we might need to adjust our process a little bit. So I just want you to maybe breathe in slowly through the nose and then focus that air out the mouth. So breathing in and then Does it feel kind of challenging to get that air through?
A little bit. Like I have a deviated septum, so this side's
Yeah,
also
it's a
challenging.
little
And
bit challenging. Yeah.
it's there.
So it will slow down your airflow if you breathe through your nose. But especially if you've had congestion and drainage, it'll be kind of swollen through here and it's going to constrict those passages. So let's try breathing through the mouth. I want you to focus on breathing like a narrow straw. And it's like a cool stream of breath along the roof of the mouth. It's taking the highest path possible on the way in and then back on the way out. So, and then focused energy.
Back Where's it
coming
out. On the way out? Through the straight to the middle?
Yeah, a nice focused, powerful airflow. And let's try, this time we're going to breathe through like we're breathing in through a straw, and then we're going to focus that airflow, but this time we're going to allow some vibration on that exhale. Okay. Ooh. Good, yeah, and kind of connecting low. So do you feel anything kind of restrictive with the throat or through your lungs?
I just feel like there's like a bubble of snot in there.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like on sitting right here.
Yep, the frog in your throat. Yep.
Yeah.
That's just kind of in the way.
I don't know if it's actually there or not, but that's what I feel.
Yeah, that's otherwise, the sensation.
I feel okay up here, and I feel like
the
airflow's okay. It just feels a little weird here.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I just wanted to check in on that because that air is where we're going to get that more rich, full, supported feeling. And that also is what's going to help you get to those higher parts. I know you kind of like, you like kind of chickened out. You're like, oh, I'm not really singing those right now. So I'd like to just play a little bit with going a little bit higher and see if, even if we approach those more gently, if we can get your voice stretching to those higher. And you will need a faster airflow to get to those higher notes. So that was something I wanted to just play with a little bit.
All right, let's do it, yeah.
And I know that touch of nasality is something we've worked on before too. So that gruff and raspy quality, after we work a little bit on getting that more full, rich quality and going a little bit higher, I'd love to play with that a little bit. Because that little dash of nasality we worked on in some other songs already. So I feel like that'll be something that kind of you're like, oh, okay, I know how to find that. So let's try.
Before,
yeah.
Was I on key?
So what I would say is in the lower sections, like when you first started, I was like, okay, yeah, like this, you were comfortable, you were in that zone, like you were there. When it went higher is where you started to be a little bit flat. And yeah, so I would say it was more of a, that feeling
that
like,
was more of a fear,
higher, yeah.
The lower one is the one wasn't sure if I was on or not.
So okay, yeah, that da 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 da, yeah, like the open road, yeah, down there. You were fine. It was more when you tried to go higher and you were like, I don't know about it. You were just
like, I'll go high this time.
You were not feeling confident with that, and so
the second pass is always more confident too. So.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, when you started, I know it's a little bit lower than some of our other songs we worked on. So yeah, so that was exciting.
Which I like because I think that I like my voice at that range.
Yeah.
There's not that many.
I think it sounds cool. Yeah.
Yeah. There's not that many songs that I listen to that are like, they all kind of step up just a little bit right into the other range of these other songs that we sing. So this is one of the ones that I like. I love these six. They're in my top 5 like all time. So yeah, I like a lot of their songs. So if I could learn this voice,
yeah, for sure, then you can do more of their songs. Love it. Yeah, I mean, there are songs that go a little bit lower. Like Hosier has Arsonist Lullaby is a little bit lower, for instance. So there are songs out there. But yeah, I do think like depending on the trends, sometimes it's more like, you know.
I think some of those songs scare me with like the guys with like really powerful voices, even though like like after having all these classes with you, I realized that all of the voices require their own unique, you know, things. And there's not really like people who are way more. I mean, there are people who are just extraordinary, right? But a lot of the singers I listen to, I'm realizing are more talented than I thought, or some of the songs that I was more afraid of before, I'm like, well, actually, that's more approachable now. So I feel like I'm starting to like understand a little bit of
Yeah.
why, in my mind, MGK is not a good singer, but then when we do it, I'm like, oh, well, he's specific. Like it's, yeah.
Right.
So
Yeah. Yeah. I like to think of it as we're vocal athletes. And
yeah,
so, we all have a different instrument for one thing.
yeah,
So, we have six larger categories of voice types. And then within those, we have smaller categories. So there are like eight different kinds of soprano.
yeah,
And
yeah,
so it's like, okay, so I could be a soubrette. I could be a coloratura. I could be a lyric. I could be.
yeah,
Um, a dramatic soprano, right? So there are all these different types. And it's a way of saying, like, this is what your voice naturally is inclined towards. So there first is that, you have this certain type of instrument. And then beyond that, though, is the type of music that you want to sing. And
yeah,
so we train for that particular, you know, type or style of music. Um, and I would say, you can be, for me, I like having versatility. So I would say I'm good at a lot of different things. But if you want to be like the best at something, you really just focus in on this
like
is what I
there,
do.
yeah,
Um, I just really enjoy learning all kinds of different things, and
yeah.
it's fun. And then I enjoy
That's how
like
I would be
teaching
too,
different
probably.
styles too. So it's, just a different goal in life. But if I wanted to be like the best, the greatest at something, I would
Yeah,
just stick with one thing. Um,
yeah,
and so when you have these voices that are iconic and are known for something, they really just focus in on this is what I do, you know?
yeah,
And they create their own style and they become known for that, right?
yeah,
Um, so yeah, I think that, as you go through, it's funny because, I was taught to sing in certain ways. Like early on, it was more like classical and musical theater training. And so, if I tried to sing some things, I would try to sing it in that way, and people were like, "No, like that's not the thing. Like it's not supposed to be that pretty, and it's like
yeah,
you're not supposed to hold out the notes as much and whatnot."
yeah,
Um, and so there are certain things that it's like the right way to do it is not always the prettiest way to do it, and
yeah,
it's like it's interesting because it's just a, like you were saying, you might not be like, oh, they're the best singer, right? It's like Adele or MGK, who's the better singer, right?
yeah.
But the thing is, sometimes the person you think is the better singer couldn't do what the other person is doing, you
Exactly.
know,
Yeah,
because they don't know that particular style or technique, right? Um, so yeah, it's like, somebody might be a really good athlete in this sport, but not another.
yeah.
And
I
you
can't
could
skate.
be like, why do they suck at this? And it's because they're like, I've
Yeah,
never done this before.
yeah,
Um, so yeah, it's their body is trained, but trained for something else. So yeah, so I think like that gruffness, the raspiness, it's just a new technique we're going to be playing with. But I do want to make sure that we're getting that
yeah. Let's
nice,
do it.
full, rich quality and going a little bit higher with it.
Okay.
So I want to try just on a nice open ah here. And we're just going to go on. Ah. We're going to start a little bit lower and we're going to inch our way up. All right, breathing
Okay.
in.
Ah.
Ah. Ah. Ah. Ah.
Wow.
Ah.
Well, that one cleared me.
Oh, it's okay. Yeah, go ahead and get a sip of water and we'll try that again.
Sorry. Go back to my bridge.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, I knew. I was
Maybe
like,
the split was when it fell through.
yep, we're right on that little transition moment. So let's
Right,
back up a
ready.
little bit and we're going to try that again. So, hum it to kind of feel what do my vocal folds need to do without the distraction of everything else shaping. And then open, just naturally open your mouth and just to that shape that opens. Okay, again. Ah. Ma. 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 Ma.
Lost the
Ma.
tone.
Let's try that one again. Breathing in. Ma. 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 All right. Yeah. Yeah. I was like, I feel like we're kind of coming to the end. But yeah, you know where it's like that is no longer gonna happen.
Yeah, that's like
I just wanted to kind of see where we'd get to, but I was like, I feel like now is about where, so we're on the same page there.
The best of the last like 4 though.
Yeah.
It was like those middle 3 that were challenging.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay. My throat feels clear now though. So
good. Yeah. So I will
feel
also say
ambitious.
the sustained pitch.
Mm-hmm.
That is the most challenging thing. It takes the most strength and stamina and control. If we're like sliding up and down, that's going to be a lot easier. If we did like just bouncy, light, disconnected ones, like ha, 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 you know, like where you just sort of like pop up to it in your back, that would be a lot easier on the vocal folds. So what you just did takes a lot more strength. So let's go ahead and sigh back down. Let's do a good. Now, I did notice there were like a couple times where we were low and we like jumped up to a high. So I just wanted to practice doing a leap as well.
Okay.
Let's do this one on shoo. So shoo, sliding up and down that fifth. Breathing in. Shoo. Breathe. Shoo. 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 start opening more at the top. So like shuo or shuao. Breathing in. Shoo. Nice. All right, good. So I'm feeling better about where we are as far as going higher now and a little more fullness. Now let's play a little bit with that gruff or raspy quality. So the first thing I want you to do, we're going to slide into your low lows. So find your vocal fry for me. Give me a Now try saying hello.
Hello.
How are you today? Just random phrases.
Should my vocal fry literally be as low as I can go, or if I can do that sort of thing higher, should I do higher?
Yeah, if you can take it a little bit higher, you can. Like, how are you today?
You know? Like I feel like once I get down to like the bottom 10%, I can do it.
You can like kind of feel it throughout. Yeah. Yeah, good. So then let's try kind of singing through that vocal fry. Where you like have it, but you're also singing. So it's like a blend of the two.
Night I feel ambitious.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So you can take lines from a song. Fly me to the moon and let me play among the stars. Right? It feels kind of funny, but that's very Johnny Cashy, right? All right. So then
I hurt myself today.
Yeah. So that's one way we can get a gruffness that's going to be very sustainable and isn't going to be painful or harmful to your vocal folds. Screamo singers do this thing where they kind of combine like a belt with that vocal fry, and then it creates that like, this is my curse.
Sometimes I really can do that actually really well.
Yeah.
I never do it for a long time because I have heard that it can destroy you and that you shouldn't. But actually,
I would say it's a little more fatiguing, and depending on the vocal type, it can be more fatiguing or less fatiguing. So, for instance, depending on the size of the vocal folds, I have a little bit smaller vocal folds and like a voice type that doesn't bounce back from that kind of fatigue as quickly. Whereas I know people who they have a larger instrument, like literally larger vocal folds that bounce back much quicker and can handle that a little bit better. But that being said, my voice can do things that theirs can't do as well, right? So we all have our strengths. I can do it. It's just I can't do it for like a whole concert because it would be too exhausting, right?
Okay.
Yeah. So I would say it's definitely something every singer can learn to do. And you just have to know your instrument and what feels sustainable to you. So that's one thing you can play with. Another thing is where we use the false vocal folds, which is a little bit different. So instead of creating the gruffness in the vocal folds themselves, we are pulling flesh together above the vocal folds in this tube to create like a false vocal fold sound. So try like you're doing like a growl, or like a rar, 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 or like a try for me like you're doing an ach laut, the German like ach, and kind of exaggerate it back here in the back of the throat. That's one thing you can kind of do is like utilize the glottis. You can pull the flesh together more in your throat and create that kind of sound. And then we incorporate that into the singing. So like I can, one thing I think is kind of fun to do for certain songs is put like a little bit of a growl into the start of a phrase or right at the end of a phrase. Yeah. So like, goodness gracious, great balls of fire. You know, like you like add a little, so I don't like constantly do it. Because again, it can be a little more fatiguing, but I'll just like add it in kind of like cool places that I like, you know?
I think I just,
and it's something I'll have to play with. So that is not actually going to affect the vocal folds because we're using the false vocal folds, right? But like if your throat is sore from other things, that might feel a little more challenging because it's like, oh, you know, my throat's already kind of like sore and irritated from drainage or whatever. It might be a harder day to do it, right? Because you're like, I'm already feeling fatigued. But yeah, trying that like rawr, rawr.
I'm gonna try it a little bit at least.
Yeah, try like just like a simple song like The Wheels on the Bus or like a Mary Had a Little Lamb or You Are My Sunshine, like you are my sunshine.
You are my...
Yeah.
Sounds like
I know it's like weird and exaggerated and strange. My only sunshine.
What's
like it's like a what a wonderful world kind of a feeling. Yeah. What a wonderful world. Yeah.
Well, that felt good on the higher part. Whoa.
Yeah. So
yeah,
you can play with it and kind of create that sound. Right, it's just something to experiment with and play with. And I would say really lean into it and kind of exaggerate that feeling. And then you can like, you started here, you go to here, and then you back off to here. And you're like, there's the sweet spot, right? So we want to just play with that. Now that's more of a gruff quality that we can add that's not going to be, you know, damaging or like harmful to your voice. It just might be a little more fatiguing, especially when you're first learning the technique. Now, the raspy quality is a little bit different. So a raspiness, think of it more as like a hissy kind of a thing. So we're going to focus a little bit more on the airflow and creating friction. So kind of like constricting. So if I think of like a raspy voice, I think of like a, you know, smokes 2 packs a day kind of a thing, like a, hey baby. Like this like air, it's a little airier kind of a feeling. So in the vocal folds, we're going to try being extra windy. Try giving me like a, hi, how are you? So think like extra airy. And then try singing with that kind of feeling. Mary had a little lamb. It takes a lot more air.
Yeah, way more air.
Yeah. And that, again, is really exaggerated, right? So we want just like a little bit of that. So if I do, you know, like, I don't know, like any song, you know, so like I can take a, all of me loves all of you. I love your curves and all your edges, all your perfect imperfections. You know, it's like I sound like I smoke a little bit more, right?
That was awesome. I wish I could do that.
Yeah, it's like a very different. It's like that is not. I was like, what would be a really weird song that this doesn't really fit? You know, like because John Legend has such a smooth, clear sound, right? So having that kind of like rocker rasp kind of a thing. And so I'm kind of exaggerating that right now. But what I want to do for this is I want to first get that like solid sound. So I take a, you know, Mary had a little lamb. Then I'm going to try with a little vocal fry. Mary had a little lamb. And then I try adding a little growly. Mary had a little lamb. And that's just me placing in different places, like where I'm creating that. And then I try a little raspy. Mary had a little lamb. where it's that more
I
like
like that raspy
airy
one.
feeling, right?
Okay.
And then we talked about a little nasality. So Mary had a little lamb, and I add a little bit of nasality to it, right? And then I'm gonna play with, can I kind of combine and have like a little bit of each, right? So I go, can I have a little bit of that like gruff and raspy at the same time? Mary had a little lamb, where I like incorporate both
Okay.
at different times. And then
Okay.
I'm going to add a little nasality to that. Mary had a little lamb. And I'm going to play until I find like the combination that I like the best. I'm going to do this a lot softer. I'm not going to really like belt it out until I'm like, I've got it. And then when I'm like, okay, I found something I like, then I add volume. Mary had a little lamb. And then I like add a little more volume. Mary had a little lamb. And I get more and more volume and punch to it until I get it where I want it. Right? But none of that felt painful. None of that felt unsustainable to me. And if I feel like I go too far where it is painful, I back off and I try it again. Okay. Yeah. Now, keep in mind, the voice is very resilient. So if you take it too far, it's okay, because in 3 days' time, your body grows entirely new vocal folds. Like the vocal folds themselves are entirely new cells in that 72-hour time frame.
Okay.
So if you push yourself too far, you just rest. You say, all right, I'm going to rest my voice. And then you will grow new cells and your voice will be fine. It's a very resilient, so you can feel like it's going to be okay. You don't have to like panic. We start to panic if it's like 3 weeks of being like, I have no voice and I'm like hoarse and raspy for 3 weeks. Then I'm like, we go see a laryngologist, we get scoped, we see what's going on, and they tell us, right? But yeah, so that's what we're going to try. So I want you to take just one phrase. Take just one phrase. It could be like the start of the song, the start of the chorus, just like your favorite phrase of the song.
Crack a window.
Yeah, like in one of my favorite songs, it's a line about like soaring, like up in the sky like a bird, kind of a thing. So like I might pick that if I was working on that song, right? So you pick one phrase, and I want you to first sing it just clean and clear. We're not pushing this. This is more of like a medium soft, like fully supported, but not really like belting it out.
Okay. I crack a window and feel the cool air cleanse my every pore.
Beautiful. I love it.
My poor heart out.
Yeah, that's a great line. I love it. I love the visuals. It's like refreshing. Yes.
The alliteration, is that what it is, where he does the
Yes. I love playing with consonants like that. Yeah, it's really nice. All right, so we're gonna add a little bit of vocal fry to that. I crack a window. So you're thinking more Johnny Cashy, yeah?
Okay. I crack. Should I try to stay? As soon as I think about adding that to it, I completely lose like where I'm at.
Sure, yeah. So your starting pitch, I try kind of like starting the vocal fry low and slide into it. I crack a window, and then keep some of that.
I crack a window and feel the cool air cleanse my every pore. All right.
Yeah, you feel that? Now we're going to try adding a little bit of that feeling of the false vocal folds. So try like a growling dog. Like, so my puppy, he saw my shadow the other night when I took him out to go potty in the middle of the night. And he saw my shadow and he like lowered his head and he was like, and I was like, it's okay, baby. But he was like, I will protect you from the shadow. And he was like, I don't know what it is. And I even like took him over to sniff it and he was still like freaked out and was like, no, let's get away from it. But he kept growling at it until we were away and he was like, okay, we're safe now. I was like, thank you for protecting me, buddy. Thank you. So that feeling of that like growly feeling that's a little higher up.
Crack a window.
Yeah.
Is that right?
I crack a window.
I crack a window. Yeah. And feel the cool air cleanse my every pore. That felt like
exactly.
That felt like I was that. Have you seen Fast and the Furious? Obviously, you've seen Fast and the Furious. Okay. You know that his name is Vince. He's like the guy who hates Brian. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I felt like I just sounded like.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I
Yeah.
actually, with a lot of my students, I'll have them use like an inspiration person
Yeah.
and be like, okay, let's try to imitate this. So I love that you have that as a clear mental image and a clear sound now.
Yeah.
You're like, okay, this is kind of what I'm
Yeah.
walking into. Beautiful. So we've got that gruff quality. Now let's play with the raspiness. So for this, I want you to really exaggerate the airy quality. So first try just like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
I crack a window.
I crack a window.
Yeah, so now we're going to try to sing through that. I crack a window.
I crack a window and feel the cool air cleanse my every pore.
Yeah, that
I'm
feels
out
very
of breath
like
by the end of that.
90s alternative
Yeah.
to me.
It's like,
yeah.
yeah, when you did it the first time, it took me immediately to somebody. I don't remember who it was.
Yeah.
But
But you're like, oh my gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that was a very like early 90s kind of a vibe. Yeah, so now we're going to add a little, we just want a hint of the raspiness. So we're going to add a little more. So what's happening is we're very, very lightly bringing the vocal folds together so that we can just basically like waste air, right? And we get that
Okay.
airy, raspy sound. So we just want to add a little more pressure now. So you have to play with like how much and how little pressure so that the air flow changes. So I crack a window. So you can play with like adding a little bit more. I
That
crack
sounds so
a
great to me when you do
window. Yeah. So try
Can you
like
do it
a
one more
few
time?
times on the same line and then like add a little more pressure, a little less pressure.
Okay. All you're doing is adding more air to get to that?
What I'm doing actually is I'm adding a little more intensity and pressure in the vocal fold closure.
Okay.
But it might feel like a little more intensity in the airflow.
Okay. A crack. It's going to be like.
It's okay. Yeah, it's an experiment. We're trying things.
Yeah. Okay. Will you do it one more time just with the air?
Yeah. So
Just
start
the
with
air.
that. I crack a window.
Crack a window.
And then we're going to try a little more intensity. I crack a window.
I crack a window.
And then a little more intensity. I crack a window.
I crack a window.
Yeah, so that I feel like was a little too far, right? So we want to pull it back, add a little more airiness to it. I crack a window.
I crack a window.
Now, what's also cool is if
into
you
gruff.
feel like you kind of like punch it and get a little more clarity than you want, you can just like add a little more airy quality after. So you have like a moment that's a little punchier and then a moment that it's a little more airy. So what's cool is with this like gruff and raspy and nasality and fullness, you can have moments where you sort of feature each thing, right? So I could start with that growl like, I crack a window. And by the end of the phrase, I can be really airy, right? So I can play with it and do whatever I want. Yeah. So now I want you to try just that hint of nasality. I crack a window.
I crack a window.
Yeah. So if you plug your nose, the sound's going to get stuck, right? You should feel some vibrations and tightness like right in here. I crack a window.
I crack a window.
Yeah. So that's a little too far. But again, it actually is a style that like some artists like really lean into. I crack a window, you know, like it has that kind of like whiny twangy.
Yeah.
All right, so we're gonna now back off of that a little bit. All right, so let's try a little nasality with a little bit of that airy quality. I crack a window. So I'm kind of vibrating through here as a resonant space, but the airy quality comes from my vocal folds. Try that.
I crack.
Try starting with an H, an aspiration. So, I crack a window.
Yeah. Feel the cool air cleanse my every pore.
Yeah. So you feel like you'd go a little more nasally and then you'd add a little more airiness. And it's like a little bit back and forth. Beautiful. Okay. So now I want to try, let's do a little bit of gruffness with the raspiness. I crack a window. I crack a window.
I crack a window. And feel the cool air cleanse my every pore.
Yeah, good. So now add just a hint of vibrating through the nasal resonance. So you're going to direct some air through here.
I crack a window and feel the cool air cleanse my every pore.
Yeah. You feel the difference?
Yeah.
Heck
Dang, that
yeah!
that was a lot. That was a lot, but I feel like I did them. That was crazy,
Yeah.
actually.
Yeah. So I would say in your
Okay,
practice, try to focus on each component
I actually
separately
need to write this down.
first. So you're going to focus on first, you're going to play with your vocal fry, and then you're going to play with the growly quality. And those false
Oh,
vocal folds, right? And then you're
yeah.
going to play with an airy, raspy quality. Hi, how are you today? That, like, I smoke a lot kind of a sound.
I need to ice smoke a latte, please.
Exactly, yeah. Um,
Okay.
and then you're going to play with the nasality, right? If you feel like it's not full enough, that's an issue with the breath support. So you're going to concentrate on that. So you're going to break it down into these different components and really focus in on, can I really nail that technique isolated? Then I'm going to be like, now can I combine two of them? And now can I combine a different two of them? So, like, can I be full but still nasally? Can I be nasally and raspy? Can I be full and raspy? Right? That one I feel like is actually feels a little bit harder to my brain. I'm like, oh, that one is a little bit harder.
Yeah.
Can I be gruff and nasally? Can I be gruff and raspy? Can I be gruff and full? Right? So I'm gonna play with pairing them. Then I'm gonna be like, can I do three at a time? And see what happens. So
Okay.
it's a layering that you're going to be doing. So it's like, decorating the cake. I get the little icing thing and I make like cute little swirly things. And then I'm going to add candles and then I'm going to add sprinkles,
Yeah.
right? So it's like each component and then we combine them all and we have our beautiful cake at the end,
And then we
right?
eat it.
So all of this is built on that core thing of like, am I singing well first,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Then these are just stylistic elements. They're just little alterations in that vocal tract shape. So, what we're doing as far as this shape, the air is flowing through. Now, you might have noticed a couple of them, the vocal fry and the raspy quality, we actually originate from our vocal folds, what they're doing. So, that's a little bit of a different story. But like the nasality and the false vocal folds, those are things that are about how we're shaping the pathway the air is flowing through. So it's a little bit of both here. But because we've done so much good work on like, what are my vocal folds doing here? What is my breath doing? What are the shapes here with like articulators and different resonant spaces? That's why it was a little bit easier to master these different
Yeah.
sound um,
Yeah.
tones and textures, right? I think of what we're doing today as more of like a texture thing,
Yeah.
less about like the tone color and more about the textures that we're adding to the
I just
sound.
learned just now that texture is the right word, but that makes way more sense when you say it.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
still
because
learning like to audibly identify
right.
the different pieces.
Yes, yeah, yeah. I think that because we can't really see what those muscles are doing, it's all about what we feel. Having really good descriptive words that help to kind of visualize that for yourself is really helpful. So sometimes people will say words that I go, I don't like that one as much. I
Yeah,
like this word better, and here's
texture's great.
why. But yeah, it's that texture. It's that you know, a lot of the time our texture is a smooth line, and that's kind of
Yeah.
what we master first
Yeah.
typically. But then when we're learning these different styles, genres, and songs, you're going to need different things depending on what you're doing. And so,
Yeah.
yeah, so I would love to go back to the song. And
Okay.
even if you feel like you can't do all of these all at once, what's
Okay.
kind of a cool thing to do is sing through this song and be like, okay, I'm going to focus on adding some vocal fry here. The
Okay.
lower section is going to be easier to add the vocal fry.
Not I
And
feel
then
it.
like be like, I'm gonna switch to focusing on the false vocal folds and the growl. And then I'm gonna switch to focusing more on the raspy quality. Okay, I'm gonna check in on how my nasality is doing. And so kind of like as you go through, try just like sprinkling in different ones at different times.
Okay.
If you feel like it's too much to try to do all at once, just be like, I'm gonna play with the
I'll
different
dabble as I
qualities
go,
as
I
well.
think, for a while. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's try the song again using
All
those
right.
different textures.
All right. It comes straight in again, remember, so.
Yeah.
Tonight I feel ambitious, and so does my foot as it takes on the pedal. I press it to the floor. I don't need a girl, don't need a friend, 'cause my friend loves some unconditional. We're flying forever bored. And for a moment I love everything I see and think and feel. I love my broken side view mirror. 'Cause it's so perfect, I'm so perfect, you're so perfect, you're not here. I hear the changing gears, my fire. Sorry, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh, please come out.
That's very normal, to feel like the vibrations through here and have like a tickle
Oh, that was like, it went like
sensation.
my eyes watered. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm gonna go back like just a little bit and I'll keep going.
Okay, yeah.
Cause it's so perfect, you're so perfect, you're so perfect, you're not here. I hear the changing gears, my pile shakes as I hit 80 on the open road. This is an open road song. The night is beckoning, although I have nowhere to go but home. Feels good to be alone. With every turn comes a new frame of mind. If I could frame my mind, where would it hang? Okay. That part right there is like you use all of your breath, and then you have this insane section where he repeats this at full blast for 3 lines afterward. So I'm going to try to take a breath at a different time.
Yeah, sometimes too, the breath can help kind of reset the shape and reset your focus. So I like to sometimes use the breath as like a cleansing reset moment.
Okay.
So then I'll place the breath based on that as well.
I'm trying to think. It's good to be alone. Big breath.
Yeah.
That return comes a new frame of mind. If I could frame my mind, if I could frame my mind, maybe a little breath there.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry, there was no way I was getting through it, so I was like, I'm just gonna try because it was about to ruin. All right. With every turn comes a new frame of mind. If I could frame my mind, where would it hang? My pile shakes as I hit 80 on the open road. My pile shakes as I hit 80 on the open road. My pile shakes as I hit 80 on the open road. This is an open road. Ah!
Let's go ahead and stop there for a second. So one thing I think would be good to practice too would be doing like a jump up, like either a slide or a separate hop up, like ah, and then add in these sounds like ah, or like a ah, ah, and then try like combining them. You know, so I think doing like that would be the slide version, but I can also do like where I kind of like hop up to it and it's separate, and then and then again combined, right? So doing like leaps when you have those, like I'm going from a low to a high note here. Try breaking those and separating the notes, but then also try sliding and then to isolate just that moment, just like we did before with the phrase, and be like, can I add in some of these texture elements to it? So that would be
Okay.
something to try to practice this week. I know today, with having had the allergic reaction, it just seems like the upper is just not
It's
as
just hard to get there.
comfortable today,
Yeah.
and that's okay. So I would say these techniques are a little more fatiguing, especially because you're learning brand new things, and your muscles are trying to figure it out. So it's just a little more fatiguing anyway. So I would probably kind of pace yourself. And try to, do like smaller chunks of practice and be like, I'm just going to work on that leap up,
Okay.
and that thing for, 10 minutes and then set it aside, right? So break it up into smaller chunks, but that's something I would add to your practice this week.
Okay.
Awesome. Okay, so tell me, what would you say is the number one thing that was really fun and that felt good that you did today?
Uh, I mean, honestly, several of those different sounds, like the gruffness, I didn't know that I had that. Like,
That it was
I
in
guess I
you.
knew I had it. I just didn't know what it was, and I didn't know why I'd use it. And
Aw.
then I never thought about it again. And then it came back, and I was like, oh yeah, I can do that.
Yeah,
So
that's
that was really
awesome. You're like,
cool.
ooh, okay, there it
Yeah, and it
is.
really like because I make like we're from the generation that quotes movies, right? So I quote
Yes.
that guy. I quote that guy in his voice all the time, but I never thought to myself that's what gruff is until today. So I would say
Mm,
that was the best, most fun.
the
Like,
connection.
yeah, it just tied in with something that I already do. I just didn't know that I did.
Right.
When
Yeah,
I did it.
you hadn't connected them, you hadn't
Yeah,
figured out how to incorporate those together.
yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
making those connections is really nice. I love
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
Awesome. What was something that you felt like you could feel yourself improving on today?
Improve. Well, on that last go around, I feel like I feel like the reason you were suggesting the slide and the jump is because I was able to keep the vocal fry sort of tone at the bottom, but when I went up, it left.
Yeah.
So, I I don't know that I've used that very often, so I felt like that was an improvement, but it will definitely
Yeah.
continue improving. Yeah,
Yeah. What's one thing that you're like, I definitely want to keep working on this? Like this.
definitely like the my pile shakes. Like I don't know. I'm struggling to figure out what it is about the way he sings it that makes it
Yeah.
sound good, and the way I
Mhm.
sing it that I'm like it doesn't sound good to me. It sounds more like I'm almost just like too flat or like too plain
Yeah.
textured. So I think that's what the part where it's like because that's in all the rock songs, right? So
Yeah.
like I need to figure that piece out. So that would be definitely the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sort of like semi yelling like
Right. And
yeah,
that's going to be a playing with it kind of a
yeah.
thing, right? Where it's like I'm just experimenting, I'm playing with sounds and playing with, and sometimes we make ugly sounds, in that process on the way to where we want it to be and we go, "Ooh, I hated that." Um but it's okay. It's like, all right, that's part of the process. So being brave enough to try just a whole bunch of different sounds until you find the one that you're like, there it is. That felt good, and that sounds like what
Yeah.
I'm looking for. So a lot of the time we do, just play with it. Yeah,
Makes sense
beautiful.
to me.
Yeah, what would you say is going to be a good practice plan for this week? Because you're coming out of having that allergic reaction. And then on top of that, we're working on some techniques that are a little more fatiguing and brand new. So I recommend doing shorter, more focused practice sessions. So what do you think would be a good,
I think
just plan for how to approach that?
I think maybe I'll try one of these a day,
Okay.
one of the four
Yeah.
sounds, and
Love
then
that.
uh, I'm hoping after day 4 I'll be feeling better, so then I can start to
Yeah.
try and push it a little further and tie stuff together. I think that's what
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
be trying to.
Usually after a few days, it starts to calm down. But yeah, I hope that it, helps. But, just using those antihistamines and things will definitely
Hmm.
help. But I know, like, if you're not used to taking like Benadryl, like the emergency, like,
Yeah, no,
it
that's
can just
worrying.
make you really sleepy and stuff. So, maybe try like one of the, daytime ones, depending on what the allergen was, your body kind of responds differently. So, maybe try a little like, Zyrtec and then like a little Allegra, a little Claritin, like different days,
Yeah.
try different things or like see what
Good idea.
what seems like it helps the most. Just because depending on what the allergic reaction is, since we don't know, it's like
Yeah.
might be a variety of different things. So
Okay.
could help, So maybe try a couple things. I would say if you do take allergy medicine, though, antihistamines are very drying. So you want to be sure you're really hydrating. So maybe like using a humidifier, letting like steam billow out the bathroom door instead of running the fan when you take showers, that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Alrighty. Well, I think in
Oh.
spite of the allergic reaction, I heard some beautiful stuff. So
Thank you. Yeah, I really do feel like I feel like this will actually be like almost the final step of me being able to transition between different songs
Yeah.
comfortably. Next week
Yeah.
I have to travel to San Diego for work, so I cannot do next week.
Well,
I can-
beautiful. San Diego's
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, I lived there for 3 years, so I can't wait to get back.
Oh, that's awesome.
But so can't do next week. But I
Yeah,
can maybe
so we'll
see when
just-
I
we'll skip-
land and see
Skip
it.
next week because you'll be away, and then we'll just plan on when you're back. So normally it would have been, I think, Thursday we had
Thursday,
said.
both
So
of
we'll
them,
just so
I
we
blocked
just
my
won't meet
whole
Thursday.
year. I blocked my whole year now for that.
Great, perfect.
And I gave myself a reminder, so there's no way I'll miss it. And it's on my work calendar,
Perfect.
like, every day.
Perfect. All right, great. So I won't see you Thursday. I'll plan to see you the
Nope.
following week.
Yep.
Safe travels. Enjoy San
Thank you.
Diego. Have a
you.
lovely time. I know when you're working, it's like you don't have a ton of time to enjoy, but
Convention.
hopefully you'll
It's a
have at least a
show.
little bit of time to enjoy it.
Yeah, I'm getting in and out for sure. That's all that matters.
Yeah. Well, yeah, you got to get back to your beautiful
Yeah.
baby girl.
Yeah,
Alrighty. Well, you have a wonderful rest of your week. Safe travels, and I will see you soon.
All right. Take care.
Bye, Aaron.
Bye.